From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great because it's Wednesday, and I got my main man with me, my man, Mike Abadir. And y'all go ahead, give him a round of applause. Where's my audience? Where's my audience? Where's my audience? The imaginary audience is over here giving you a round of applause. We need the mixer. Okay.
NFL Eve, my friend.
Yes.
NFL Eve.
And you know, Mike, we just got
slouch here, bad posture. Trying to get some better posture here.
We just got done with the NFL Bet Exchange right now, me and Jeff Dawson. So that was a lot of fun. So pretty much you guys can watch the replay and everything if you like. You know what I mean? So we do have that going on and everything like that. So pretty much, Mike, let's go ahead and jump into it. And we have the Chicago Bears coming to LA on Sunday, and Coach Nagy has to win now to secure a future with franchise. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, how long do you give a guy, and what kind of improvements do you want to see?
Right.
For me, I want to at least see that one of the units is top 5. Are you working towards a top 5 defense? Or top 5 offense? Do you see subtraction? Great example of that is in Cleveland, right? We saw that the franchise had some traction going, right? Defensively, they kept picking up elite talent via the draft, via free agency, until they put together, a top 5, top 10 defense. Then they addressed the offense, and now both are really good. Same thing in Buffalo. Same thing in Miami. What are we going to see from the Bears? You tell me, Pop, is there a top 5, top 10 unit within the Bears organization?
Well, the Bears, to me, honestly, kind of their window closed, man. And I think it's because the trust that the coach lost in Mitch Trubisky. I don't know why I'm such a big Mitch Trubisky guy, but I really felt like he was the turning point for a Bears offense that was always inept. And, a guy scores 40 points straight games, and what do you reward him with? You let him walk down the road to Buffalo, and I felt like the coach's indecisiveness was the reason why his progression didn't get to where it was supposed to get to, because the first year he was there, it was all about Mitch. You know what I mean? And they went to the playoffs too. And, pretty much then we fall out of love with Mitch Trubisky because he's not out there like Peyton Manning or, or Tom Brady or somebody like that. But he's doing everything is possible with what he has. He didn't have the best unit to run with as well either. You know what I mean? He didn't have a premier wide receiver. Allen Robinson has stepped out, but come on, Mike, you're an NFL agent. You know that he is not top 10, Allen Robinson. He's more top 20, top 30 because of his size. That's why he's so good. You know what I mean? And he's
but that's kind of my point, Pop, is they haven't been able to put together a top 5, top 10 offense or defense. How are you going to win?
Right. Well,
you got to have one of the units be a top tier to get to the playoffs.
And the defense is supposed to be the midway, the monsters of the midway. At the end of the day, I honestly thought that they should have moved on from them last year. I know they made the playoffs, but that was a miracle in itself too, because teams in the NFC were really bad. The bottom half of the NFC compared to the AFC when it came to teams actually making the playoffs and everything like that. Come on, dude. Yeah, the Washington football team host a playoff game, and they didn't even have a winning record. So, that's how bad the NFC was last year. So, all in all, the Bears did kind of luck out and get to the playoffs because, if Arizona doesn't lose, then they're not in. It's a lot of different elements that went into it. But all in all, I still feel like
Wait, hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. 8-8. I was just pulling up the record from last year. Okay, so they didn't even have a winning record.
No.
Okay, I mean, I don't see it for this year. They ain't gonna win.
Well, when you start Andy Dalton week 1 and you're saying, oh, we don't want to rush the quarterback. Oh, but you rush Mitch, though. You know what I mean? And Justin Fields, to me, coming out of Ohio State is much better than Mitch Trubisky coming out of North Carolina, dude. Seriously. What did North Carolina do when he was there? What, win 6-7 games? You know what I mean? And they said, oh, he's going to be a stud. You know what I mean? And
that's again, a key point. A lot of these guys are being drafted. They've never won.
Right. And just my thing is it's just another overlook. It's another bad scouting job. Guys like your buddy Todd McShay overhyping people. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know if you guys are buddies, but I don't know if but Todd McShay.
He's actually going through a difficult time right now and a illness of some sort, so he's not going to be on ESPN for a while.
Bad players.
So prayers for Todd McShay. Yeah, bad picks.
Giving out bad mock drafts.
Well,
I feel bad for that guy. One time they had to go get Mel Kiper from downstairs to come take his. Remember that draft when he kept missing, and they were like, "Go get Mel."
Yeah,
Todd is already go get Mel because Mel kept getting it right. I said exactly. Mel had something to do with that. Because they're trying to phase Mel out of the draft situation, and they wound up shooting themselves in the foot. You can't phase out Mel Kiper.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. All kidding aside, prayers with Todd McShay. Hopefully he gets over whatever he's dealing with. But I think your greater point is scouting misses, and they are abundant in the NFL.
Right, and that's why it's like this. That's why I said to myself, everybody's getting so excited about these quarterbacks and everything like that. But the last time we had a quarterback draft like this one, it was an absolute flop show. The only one that survived that group was Donovan McNabb. And since we're talking about that, let's move into that. And we have which NFL rookie has the best chance to win his debut on Sunday? What are you thinking, Mike?
So who is the pool of named starters? Let's start with that for Sunday. I'm trying to look up that list here. Do you have that list in front of you?
Okay, Trevor Lawrence is going to start. Trey Lance is going to be a spot player somewhat. The kid with the Jets is starting.
Wilson, yep.
Wilson's going to start. And Mac Jones, you already know he won his spot in New England. He'll be playing. And then Fields will probably be brought in the second half after they cart Andy Dalton off the field. Aaron's coming for lunch. Aaron's coming for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this one. Telling you. So pretty much if they have to wheel him out at the half, but what are you thinking? I think probably the guy with the best possibility of winning is the guy that got the best coach, Mac Jones. And he won't have to do that much either, Mike.
They're at home, and they're against their division rivals, the Miami Dolphins, which I'm predicting to go on a very nice run this year. That's my long shot special is the Miami Dolphins. I think they're going to get to the AFC Championship game. You heard it here first, folks.
Wow.
AFC Championship game for the Miami Dolphins. But this is a home game for the Patriots. Bill Belichick, best coach. I think probably if one team has the best chance to win with a rook, it is the New England Patriots. The second best possibility might actually be the two kind of worst teams from last year going head to head, right? And that's the Jets at Carolina, right? Let's see what Saleh could do as a first-time starter in the NFL, first-time head coach. We know he can build a great defense. He's got a great defensive mind. And so I think he's going to incorporate that with the Jets. Let's see if they could run the ball. I'm not so certain, but let's see if Wilson's the guy. And if so, Carolina has some loaded offensive weapons, but I think defensively they're soft and they got a lot of holes. So this might be an over game, by the way, the Jets and Carolina. But with that said, I think those are the best two options for a rookie to win. New England and the Jets, two AFC East teams.
Well, look at you. And already AFC out, East out. But thing is, though, when I look at it in this game, we talked about it on the show, on the NFL show just about an hour ago. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. I think that Sam Darnold walks in here and he's literally going to be, I'm the captain of this ship now. You know what I mean? The situation where he might hit him with the Guns N' Roses, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. And I'm telling you right now, I think that they have the better defense coming in. The Panthers, I know the Jets look better on paper, but I think the way that you already have a year with Rule, that they should be really good to go in this game because they have a quarterback that he's entrusting to be the man in Carolina, even though, pretty much you over there looking at who might be your rookie quarterback for next year as well, too. But Sam Darnold has about 4 or 5 games to really prove himself in Carolina, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I know he has a whole season, but the first 4 games are going to be they're going to get a good evaluation of him and everything like that. And I think that the Jets are going to run into a tough time going down to Carolina and everything like that because this quarterback I don't know. It's just I don't get the vibes with this quarterback. He struggled against the Coastal Carolina team. I know Coastal Carolina is number 17 in the nation now, and they got a top quarterback prospect themselves. But come on, Wilson looked bad against BYU
look, I'm not saying that the Jets are going to win.
Right.
You asked which teams have the best chance.
Right. No,
with
exactly.
Rookies. Actually, let me take that back. Can I change my pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jacksonville. Another bad bowl game. Jacksonville and Texans. I'll take Trevor Lawrence in that game. Why not?
Well, I'm gonna
He's playing the worst team in football.
Oh, we don't know if they're the worst team in football yet.
Texans?
We don't know that yet. We don't.
I know that.
No, because come on, man. We gonna just throw away Tyrod Taylor like that? Tyrod Taylor wins.
Who's he throwing it to?
He got some winning record.
Who's he throwing it to?
To another professional.
Who's he running the ball with?
Oh, he got Mark Ingram. He got
over the hill. He's 31.
He got Lindsey, a speedster from Denver, and then he got David Johnson as well too.
Over the hill.
Yeah, and then he got some pretty good line. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jeff. I can't trust the Jags on opening day. I'm sorry. And I just think that the Texans are gonna wind up they're not gonna be good this year, but they're gonna wind up having a week 1 feel-good story. Just like Washington last year when they were getting thrown to the Wolves and when everybody was saying they was the worst team in the NFL, and then they popped up and won the opener. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Fair.
But I do respect where you're coming from.
Fair.
Yeah, I do respect.
Yeah, I'd say Jacksonville, the Patriots, and the Jets in that order.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Remember, everyone, I'm not predicting that these teams are going to necessarily win. The question is who has the best chance to win.
Well, Trey,
they could go 0 for 5, all the rookies, but the best chance.
Well, when we look at the rookies in general, even though he's not starting, Trey Lance probably has the best chance of winning day 1, even if he doesn't play, because a lot of people were banking on the Niners beating up on the Lions, but we in Detroit, so it's going to be a little difficult.
Well, we're talking about having that 1-0 next to your name, right? Not being on the club that goes 1-0.
Right, but you know what? There's no quarterback that they're salivating over right now. So I think Detroit's in a good spot. From Detroit fans, I don't think tanking's going to be on your mind to start the season. So, and to me, as I keep telling you guys, I feel like they got the better end of the deal with the Rams. I know everybody loves Matt Stafford, and this disowns the whole fact that Jared Goff had a much better stats than he did over the last 2 years and went to a Super Bowl in that process and went to the playoffs 3 out of 4 of the last years as well, too. But you know what? Let's just roll with the guy that can't get his team past the 1 yard line on the other side of the ball. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? I've so many failed Detroit drives, bro, that cost us so much money over the last 4 years, period, point blank. And I put a lot of that on Stafford. So Rams, get ready. He might not be able to cross the 1 yard line for you.
Here's the deal. Let's see if Stafford's best friend, Clayton Kershaw, can rub off on him.
Man.
Both in LA now.
It's all good. Life is different now. You go from eating Detroit style pizza to eating sushi and life is different. You got a juice bar,
kale salad
at the bar,
kale salad,
all that good stuff. So hopefully maybe he might rub off on him. But I know one thing though, Sean McVay, your butt is on the hot seat because it's playoffs or bust. And I'm not talking about just the first round. I'm talking about you better get to the championship game or something because you mortgage a lot of the franchise future for a guy who's pretty much at the end of his days, in my opinion. I think Stafford got about 3 or 4 years left in to be a feasible top-end quarterback. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So we'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and talk about tomorrow. We got Cowboys Bucs Thursday night football. Now we all know what's going to happen here first. This is a front runner game in my opinion when it comes to fan bases. Bucs fans only come out maybe every 15 years when they're somewhat feasible. I've never heard so many people be like, I love the Bucs, but I did have a lot. The Bucs grabbed a lot of people after they beat the Raiders in that Super Bowl. A lot of people wound up being big Bucs fans. And if you're a video game person like me back when I was a kid in the 90s and everything like that, there's a game called NFL Quarterback Club that was really popular. I didn't have the system, but I remember how popular the game was on Nintendo 64. And one of the teams that everybody loved to play with was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they got a lot of coverage on Fox at that time with Sapp and, Lynch and, all those guys were killing it and Dungy and all that stuff. And they had just changed their jerseys over from the mediocre creamsicles to their brick orange jerseys that they called. Well, it's called brick. It wasn't called orange or red. It was brick. That was the color of it. So pretty much my point is that, the Bucs are going to be into this game very heavy. There's going to be a lot of, love for the Bucs because Tom Brady, all that good stuff. But the Bucs are coming in here a little hurt. Antonio Brown hasn't really been practicing this week. Gronkowski has injuries all the time because come on, they butchered him in New England. So there's injuries he ain't never going to get over. So pretty much you got Tom Brady coming off of a leg injury as well too. I don't like that. Never want Tom coming off of a surgery or anything like that because regardless of how he prepares, he's still going to be kind of slow to it when that happens to him. So, the Bucs have, to me, a lot of pressure on them. The Cowboys don't. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a fair assessment. Here's the thing. We don't know what we're going to get out of Dak Prescott. And apparently his injury was more baseball-esque than NFL. So they consulted with the Texas Rangers on how they deal with arm injuries, shoulder injuries, etc. And they followed their prescription for how to handle the situation, the physical therapy that is associated with that type of thing. So I think they've been very careful with Dak Prescott. I expect him to come back 100%. I think he's going to be good as new. And so I think in terms of point spread, I'll take the Cowboys to cover. 8 points is a lot.
Yep. And knowing how...
And we saw their offense, by the way, before Dak got hurt. Their offense was scoring like 40 points a game.
And knowing how things work out in a sense, we know it's going to be a late bet down for the Cowboys, and they're going to entice you with a 6.5 on the Bucs tomorrow.
It's not 8.
It's going to happen at certain books, because it's at 8 now. But
Oh, you're saying it'll be 6.5?
I'm telling you, late money is going to come in on the Cowboys because everybody who feels sharp is going to take the Cowboys. And if they drop that number at 6.5, you might want to take the Cowboys on the money line because 6.5 sometimes is danger, in my opinion. I know it looks like it's a cinch, but that might be your worst nightmare sometimes when you're betting on Sundays when a team goes to -6.5 and they were up, like, say, maybe -8 or something of that nature. But back to what you were saying real quick. See, when you say things like the Texas Rangers were consulted the Cowboys, it kind of gives me doubts about this game because, the Rangers have one of the worst pitching staffs in the MLB. So I wouldn't think that I wouldn't really be going to them about arm advice at this point because they don't know, because they ain't got no pitching good this year. You know what I mean? Like, does everybody have a bad arm on the Rangers? I don't know, but we'll see, though, Mike. I like the points as well, too. I set that on my show. I got +7.5 on that bad boy. So I think that's a good play. I think it's a strong play. And I think that's where you go to. You don't trust the Cowboys to win this game, but you trust the Cowboys to keep the game close.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think that should work out for everybody. So with that, Mike, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And once we get back, we're going to be talking some MLB baseball as usual. Don't worry, I'm not going to bug you about the Dodgers today. They're not on the menu, no Blue Crew Daily. But we can talk a little bit about Pujols doing what he did yesterday, though, with those remarkable home runs that he got back at his old stomping grounds in St. Louis. We'll get to that in a moment. You guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Kappa, and the man himself, Mr. Mike Abadir, and we will be right back.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, so real quick, breaking news as well, too. If you guys were wondering about what happened with the Showtime fight for next Saturday, Brandon Figueroa had to pull himself out due to COVID. So I just wanted to give you guys that update for that unification fight and everything like that. Mike's very familiar with Mr. Figueroa. That's the heartbreaker, man, the heart shaker. He's a good guy. Too bad I had to be on the other side that night, but still, he's a great guy. And I was very happy for him when he won that night. And hopefully we still get the fight in Vegas, and it should be a good one, Mike. But that unification fight is now off until further notice. So I just wanted to give you guys that update real quick if you didn't know what was going on. And no, he wasn't faking it. He's people catching COVID, Mike.
Yep.
That's it.
Legit. Yep.
People going out, they doing they weekly test, and boom, whoop, there it is. The whole team tested positive. So, hey, just get your antibodies together, and we'll see you in a month or two. You know how
there you go.
All right, Mike. So, I know you're going to clown on me. That's why I didn't want to bring up the Dodgers. But, I know you're feeling good. You probably won the Diet Coke bet with Gino. You know what I mean? You and Gino probably do the Diet Coke. Like, Shannon and Skip, they do the Mountain Dew. Oh,
Yeah.
I just tell myself, I say for two guys who say they're in the gym working out, you guys are really fighting over Mountain Dew, one of the worst possible sodas that
it's a can of green sugar.
Right. I used to love me some Mountain Dew when I was a kid, but it tastes absolutely awful now.
Yeah.
It's like it's no
can of green sugar that's got caffeine in it.
Remember when Mountain Dew was good, Mike? Like
Yeah.
it was just like you would be like, give me some of that Mountain Dew. You had a class party or something. Give me some of that Mountain Dew.
I feel like my teeth would fall out if I drink it now.
Right. I think after you drink that the supermarket version of it, then you drink the Mountain Dew again. It just starts being a bad taste in your mouth.
Agreed.
It is what it is. But Mike, let's go ahead and talk about it. This is a game that a lot of people probably will say that game's kind of worthless, but it's still baseball, though, at the end of the day. But before we get into that, though, what were your thoughts on Albert Pujols hitting those home runs yesterday, Mike? What feeling did you get? Like, man, this guy's awesome, or like it's about damn time, for St. Louis?
Good for him to still be appreciated in St. Louis and to give the home fans a little taste of bittersweet flavor in their mouth. They're probably happy for him, but sad for the Cardinals. Cardinals haven't had a great season. They've been just mediocre. But Pujols, man, he's a Hall of Famer, and I was happy to see him rake, man. I thought that was pretty cool. Look, he's done pretty well with the Dodgers so far. I think they got a little bit more than what they expected.
Well, when you win it, it's different. You know what I mean? The Angels, I never thought the Angels had the right chemistry for him. I think that, they quit midway through the season, and you got Trout, who's so good that he's not even playing right now. You know what I mean? Mike Trout got a lot of lingering injuries and things like that kind of affecting his the second half of his career, because we are in the second part of Mikey's career now. You know what I mean? And so pretty much he went somewhere where they like to win at, just like when he was in St. Louis. You know what I mean? And then you get around enough positivity about being better than you were yesterday, then you pick up on that. But I felt like he became one of the most important locker room guys. That's the whole thing. When Albert came in, it was all open arms. But then you had a lot of younger players who grew up watching Albert who were like, tell me everything you know. And that's why he's able to get into the game the way that he does. I don't think that he had that same situation with the Angels. When you look at who was playing for the Angels, do you think that they're running to Albert and say, tell me everything you know? No, they was just more like, you know what? I'm going to wait for this game to be over. There's a nice little bar down the street. I got 2 girls that I'm meeting over there. That's the only thing I'm worried about. If they win the game, cool. If they don't, whatever. You know what I mean? Because it always seems like the Angels are partying a little bit after the game. And I don't mean to say that in a sense, because I know that we did lose a guy. We lost a couple guys on the Angels in the last decade to after game stuff. You know what I mean? So that's all I'll say, Mike. You know what I mean? So, let me take that back. And I don't want to offend anybody with that, but come on, you get my point, right?
Yep.
All I got to say is Josh Hamilton.
Yeah.
Josh Hamilton.
I'm not going to go there, Pop, but I know exactly what you mean.
I think that guy has to be a guy you never talk about again in Major League Baseball. It doesn't matter what type of story he had, because that all went to flames once he got to Anaheim. It showed that he's a pretty weak person, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if he came back, you know what I mean? Because relapsed, you know what I mean? And I got to be real world with you. I can't be a babysitter like everybody else. But let's get into baseball. Let's get into the games. They don't pay me to do the Stephen A stuff, man. They don't pay me to be Justin Whitlock. All right, so there we are, Mets, Marlins, and pretty much, Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
Two teams that aren't going to get to the playoffs. You got Rich Hill on the bump for the Mets and Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. I expect this to be a low-scoring affair, and that's pretty indicative by the over-under being just 7. I don't think it's going to be a very exciting game. What's up with the Mets offense, man? And the Marlins haven't been able to manufacture much runs either. I do like Jazz Chisholm. He's a really nice piece for the Marlins. But overall, this is a no-touch game, Pop.
If the Yankees were smart, they would really go after Jazz Chisholm this week.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees got a guy now, I can't think of his name, but he's been leading off this year. They haven't talked much about him, but he was a big reason why the Yankees came back, and he's kind of like the return of the leadoff man in a sense. And so I think if you add somebody like Jazz Chisholm, that will kind of shake things up a little bit for you if you're smart. You know what I mean?
Great two-hole hitter.
Yeah, if you're smart, you want to go after a guy like that. But all in all, when I look at this game, I just see two teams that are going in the same direction, absolutely nowhere. So what I like here, though, is that you got some decent pitching going on both sides. But, Rich Hill is always a trusted vet, and Alan Kantar is pretty good as well, too. But like you said, the game probably does fall up under the under. But I think the Mets got a shot at winning this game just because I think they got the better pitcher, and they're still playing for the East. They're not out of it like that yet. You know what I mean? They're only 5 games back, but still they blew like a 7-game lead as well too. So pretty much they're still in contention. But that means absolutely nothing at this point. But I like the Mets.
Well, it's not just the games back. They also have a team ahead of them in the Phillies.
Right.
And then the Braves above them. So you'd have to leapfrog 2 teams, which is tough in like 20-something games.
Right, but they're not that far behind the Phillies. They're far behind. The 5 games is Atlanta. So, the Phillies can lose 4 games tomorrow, or you can lose 4 games this week. You know what I mean? They're the most inconsistent team in the NL, in my opinion. You know what I mean? At one point they're lousy, at another point they're great, then they're middling. It's just, pick something, Mike. Pick something. You know what I mean? Pick something. You know what I mean? You're gonna be middling, you're gonna be good, or you're gonna be sorry. One or the other.
Well, same goes for the Mets, though.
Yeah, but the Mets, though, were in the lead for 3 months. The Mets just got way too.
That's because they had the best pitcher in the world.
Yeah,
which they don't have anymore.
Baez is there as well too. So maybe they can make a stretch run here in the last 3 weeks, but I doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
Be honest with you. All right, let's move on to another NL East matchup, and that's going to be the Nats and the Braves today. And the Braves, as you said, Mike, already, these guys are playing for that pennant. And they did it in traditional Atlanta Braves style as well, too. They kept pacing. They kept staying in the race. And then everybody wanted to throw them away. When one player gets hurt and they think it's the NBA. Oh, it's over. Their season's over. Do people understand how many people are part of the organization in baseball? Yeah, you got 22 guys that play on your major league team or whatever, 30 guys or whatever. But dude, you got like 80 players in you got like 80 players in the minor leagues. So you can do a call up at any time. You can make a trade at any time. Baseball is a sport that doesn't work like other sports. It's a true team sport. You know what I mean? You can't have one person riding you to the finish line. It just does not work like that. Ask Showtime. Because if it was like that, the Angels would be a better team. And they're not. They're actually lousier than you expected. You know what I mean? So, when I look at this one, a lot of money is going to go on the Braves side, but I said it is, why don't you just play the run line on the Nats today? You don't have to money line them, but you can play the +1.5. This is going to be a close game, Mike. That's what I'm thinking.
Interesting. I like the run line on Atlanta.
Like I had run line last night for clients on Atlanta.
We got Toussaint on the mound for the Braves, pitching pretty decent against Sean Nolan. They're going to light up Sean Nolan. They're going to remind us of the old launching pad for Atlanta. Atlanta's going to tee off. They're going to score 8 runs. And they're going to win this game 8-4. Take Atlanta -1.5.
Like that, Mike?
Yep.
All right. So there it is. We'll move on and let's talk about this under the radar matchup: the Royals and the Orioles. This is going to be a funny one. You got Matt Harvey on the mound, and you got Mike Minor on the mound. A few years ago, these guys were top pitchers in the league. Now they're just stuck in what we call the what did old Billy Bean say in Moneyball? Brad Pitt, he said, well, there's the dirt, and then it's what's up under the dirt. And it's these two right here. You know, and so, you know, it doesn't matter where you go to in this game. You might be just you could be being a smart better either way you go in this spot. But I think, though, today, it seems like Matt Harvey pitches every time you're on the show, Mike. So I'm gonna give Batman one more. I'm gonna give Batman another shot today. I think that they win the game, honestly.
I'm gonna bet. You know, there's a bet, by the way, that both pitchers stink. It's called the over. That's the play for tonight. The over. I can't tell you who's going to win this bad pitching matchup, but I can tell you that each team is going to score runs in bunches. The humid Baltimore weather, ball's going to carry. Expect some home runs. Expect a lot of runs. My play of the night, over 9.5 for the O's at home hosting the Royals.
All right, so Mike's taking the easy way out. Just take the over, watch the scoreboard, enjoy some good food, and you don't have to watch the game. Just wait for him to score some runs. That's it.
Yep.
All right, so we move on. Let's talk Reds and Cubs. Cubs are ready for Tahiti, ready for Jamaica, ready for wherever.
Oh, you're writing them off.
The Cubs are done.
Oh, I thought you said the Reds. I'm sorry.
No, the Cubs are
the
done.
Cubs have been in the Bahamas for 6 months already.
Right. The Reds are the best story in baseball. Think about it. They had 2 All-Stars this year. Joey Votto had an incredible month where he hit 17 home runs. You know, everybody talked about Schwarber, but Joey Votto literally willed his team into the position that they're at today with the big home run outings that he had over the last few months or so. And so pretty much the Reds, I'm not writing them off, even though they did drop the last 6 out of 8 games, but they played a tough schedule at that point as well, too. They're not playing against the bottom tier teams and just getting whooped. They're playing against other teams that are headed to the playoffs as well, too. This is going to come down to the final week, in my opinion, on who's the winner going to be of the beatdown from either the Giants or the Dodgers. Because seriously, we could just kind of wipe out the second wild card. That's just being nice this year, to be honest with you. And let's just get straight to the NL playoffs because we already know what time it is. You know what I mean? It's already bad enough we're going to have to possibly have the Giants, Dodgers playing each other in the first stanza of it. You know what I mean? Unless everybody want to start losing and let the Brewers be the first seed. You know what I mean? But that ain't going to happen. So I really do feel like the Reds can be a good team tonight. Well, they're already a good team. But they've been dominant against the Cubs, Mike. They've been whooping them all year. So, it's not hard to take them. But you know what? I'm a scoreboard watcher. I like the over more.
Well, you got Vladimir Gutierrez going for the Reds. This guy somehow is going for his 10th win of the season, which is surprisingly high. I did not expect him to be 9-6, but he is. He's going for win number 10. His ERA is in the low 4s, and he's going up against probably one of the more consistent pitchers for the Cubs, which is not saying much. Alec Mills. He brings a nice effort every time out. Look, the Reds are hanging on to that first seed for the wild cards. They're the number 1 wild card in the National League. Excuse me, the final wild card. They're clinging on to that. Well,
13.5 back, Mike.
I'm almost considering the Dodgers and the Giants as co-division leaders, and I forget that the loser of that is going to be an unfortunate wild card team. It's unimaginable to me, but they're clinging on to that last final seed. Little bit better record than the Padres. They've got some separation against the Phillies. Those are the three teams that are still alive for this thing. And look, if the Reds have any chance to seal the deal, you got to beat the Cubbies. And I think it starts right here. I'll take the Reds. I'll take the better team. I'll take the hotter team. I'll take the team that has something to play for. Cincinnati tonight beats the Cubs in a very important game for the Reds.
And a team that pretty much has owned Wrigley this year as well, too. I think they got the best record at Wrigley this year as well. They just been whooping on the Cubs this year. Like, they taking out a decade of frustration out on the Cubs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Seriously. All right, we move on. We got the Phillies at the Brewers tonight. This is one of the better games of the night. And this is where I say the Phillies, they're running into a little bit of some hurdles a little bit here because the Brewers want to keep, the Brewers want to stay steady winning because that's good going into the playoffs and everything like that. And you want to keep building that confidence up and everything. But honestly, when I look at this game, I tell myself that, Philly's been good this week. I got the Phillies as a dog of the day the other day, Monday, I think. And it's Wednesday yet. So it's Monday. We got the dog of the day with the Phillies. And so pretty much today, I feel like the Brewers can go ahead and absolutely dominate this game, to be honest with you, Mike. I like the 1.5 on the Brewers today, and I think that this could be a very, very strong play for bettors as well.
I 100% agree with you, Pop. They got Freddie Peralta on the bump for the Brewers, probably the most unheralded of the three-headed pitching monster that the Brewers trot out there every week. Very, very, very good underrated pitcher against the guy that the Phillies traded for in order to make a playoff run, and he's been just mediocre, and that's Kyle Gibson, formerly of the Texas Rangers. He really hasn't brought it the same type of effort or results that he had in lowly Texas, probably because he had no pressure on him over there. Philly, he was expected to be kind of like a mid-year savior, and he's been average at best. But that's what happens when you take a pitcher from a bad team who had nothing at all to play for, and then you put him in a Philadelphia NL East division race. What do you expect? You know what I mean? So I'll take the Brew Crew here. Probably the most underrated team in baseball, the most underrated team in baseball with their most underrated pitcher going for them. I'll take the Brew Crew -2 or to minus 1.5, but to exceed the 2.
Well, the 2.5 is very popular again with a -300 team. So if you want the 2.5, take it. That's plus money, Mikey.
I'll take it.
Yeah, don't
easy sale there.
Yeah, don't sneeze on the plus money. Just got to take risks for the plus money. You know that, Mike?
Absolutely.
Come on. Mike.
I see this game being 7-3.
Okay. I think that's a pretty righteous score right there. And people get the over as well, too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
So we got our final game here. White Sox and A's. You got the White Sox coming here plus 145. The A's minus 175. The A's are falling apart at this point. They play good baseball all the way up until now. They just kind of, well, you know what? They didn't start the season well either. I think they lost the first 8 games of the season, but they wound up winning 13 in a row after that. But I just really think that this is not a good time for the A's moving forward because it's just too much going on at once. You got the Yankees and the Red Sox back and forth at each other's throat, trying to solidify who's going to have the home field advantage in the wild card playoff. But then you have the fun bunch of the AL East, and that's the Toronto Blue Jays, who just will not go away. The Blue Jays are like that horse in the 7 hole in an 8-horse race that's on the outside on that stretch drive, and they just keep gaining more and more momentum. They're not going to finish first place, but they might wind up finishing in the money. You know what I mean? Because you got the Yankees jumping up and down as they go down, and then you got the Red Sox shaking their head a little bit too much. And I know you got me thinking about that I forget what horses it was, but the horse that tried to bite the other horse as they was on the stretch.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that horse very well. I just can't think of his name right now. But that was wild, Mike. This is something I want to talk to you about. But that was wild. He really literally was like, we got a problem here.
He wanted to win so badly, man. He was willing to do anything.
Man, and it was on Fox too. I wondered why Fox didn't cover the after fight that happened in the pad that happened on the walk-off. They looked like they got to a fight after that.
By the way, since
that would have been fun.
I was gonna say, since this is live right now, as we're talking, Derek Jeter accepting the plaque in Cooperstown. He's now officially a Hall of Famer. Congrats to the captain. As much as that pains me to say that as a Red Sox fan, much respect for Derek Sanderson Jeter, worthy Hall of Famer, man.
All right, now let's get Barry in. And then I'll take the Hall of Fame.
100%, man. Barry Bonds has to be in there.
We'll get Barry in there.
Barry's got to be in there. You know who's Barry got to blame? The A's guys, Canseco and McGuire. Right? So this team that we're talking about right now, the A's that are in the midst of a crumble, you never write them out. They always outperform the expectations. I think tonight they get a very important win against Dallas Keuchel, who has not been very good for the White Sox. They got Frankie Montas going for the A's. I think he's going to give them a nice lift. He's going to pitch them a good effort. They're going to win to try to stay pace in that wild card race, which they firmly had a grasp on not long ago. Now they're seeing it slip. They'll find a way to come back and stay relevant all the way to the last week, probably even the last day of the season, and maybe a 3-way, 4-way race for those wild card spots between the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners as well, the A's, and the Blue Jays.
And I got my over wins with them too this year.
There you go.
Yeah, you got that. I'm gonna put all that up. I gotta go through a whole lot of stuff, but I'm gonna get it up there. It's gonna be fun. All right, so pretty much that's gonna be that for baseball tonight. Let's go ahead and get into talking tickets, Mike. I know this is one of your favorite topics, because this is all about the money, baby. This is, I'm over here giving out rent value. You know what I mean? We trying to make some money here, Mike. We just not trying to cash a ticket. You know what I mean? So I can be like, yeah, man, I cashed a $70 ticket with the 75 favorites on it.
This ain't no show bet, man.
Put $300 on it in 10 favorites. Stupid.
This ain't a 1-9. This ain't a show bet.
Right. This ain't no just, he's gonna be. It's a paid workout. No. This is gambling right here. All right, so here it is. We got the MLB PrimeTime PK6 tonight, 65-1. Mike, I know you like the number. Mets money line -115. Nats +1.5. Orioles -105. The over 9 with the Reds and the Cubs. The -1.5 with the Brewers, and then we end up with the under 7.5 with the White Sox and A's. And as I always say, single what you like, and there it is for the PrimeTime PK6, Mike. Or is there anything that you see there that you might like?
Well, I think the thing that's interesting to me is this. This is the first time in a long, long time. Usually we're kind of like 5 out of 6 in agreement. This one here, there's not a single disagreement. This is the winner. It's the winning play.
All right, so if we win, that means you meet me in Vegas Saturday.
Deal.
Yeah, you meet me in Vegas Saturday, and you're going to be the one that pays for the win buffet since you won. On my information. I can't wait. I got to get back to the win buffet, man. Absolutely good.
I wish I went that day with you guys.
In Vegas, but that's one of them that's left over, and it's good. Yeah. It's worth all the $70 that you're going to pay for it.
I got to check that out next time. And that is brought to you by the Win Buffet.
The Win Buffet. I'm over here trying to get some extra dollars. Come on, take care of your boy already. Man.
Come on, Win.
Come on, Win.
Let's get some of these LA guys, Californians over here.
William Hill, you got to cut. You need to cut a check soon too. I've been staying at all the Caesars properties. William Hill, been repping William Hill. I used to not be a big fan of William Hill, but William Hill has always been solid though, in a sense though. But I always felt like they was invading a little bit. You know what I mean? Being from Europe and everything, and kind of putting their ways on the things, but they've adapted very well, and I think that they're doing a banging job with their merger with Caesars as well too. They're a good marriage in a sense, and I like it, you know. And it's
Come on, William, let's step up. Hey, Bill, step up to the plate, Bill.
Right.
Come on, man. Let's throw a few ducats our way here and represent 100% on the Primetime Angles live show.
Right. And then, we got the kiosk as well, too. So then you can avoid the lines and you can avoid the snippy merchants, cashier people, because I had that little issue when we was at the Harris as well, too, Mike.
Yeah.
I just went to the kiosk because the lady had no clue what she was doing. So pretty much I didn't want to be that guy. They
also have a betting app for the phone, which is what I had used. But that one does not accommodate horses, unfortunately.
Right. The kiosk is awesome, though, Mike. The kiosk is very simple.
It's like an auto tote machine at the races.
Yeah. Put your money in, get your bet, sit your butt down.
Yep.
Instead of going over there with somebody, I just started yesterday. I'm just going to be lazy to be lazy, as if I wasn't a part of a month-long training for this.
Yeah. There's no pick 5 here. Yeah, there is.
Right.
That's the most important wager of the day.
There is no
There's a carryover.
It's 11 races. Yeah, it is what it is, though, man.
Yeah.
But all in all, Mike, it's always a pleasure. I thank you so much for.
Thank you as always, Pop.
And coming.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday when we're talking about disappointments and exceeding expectations and wins from week 1.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because we're going to have a lot of surprise moments on Sunday. I'm getting myself prepared for it, but I'm trying to be on the surprise part of the surprise party, like, surprise, gotcha. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But I look forward to next Wednesday. It should be
Thank you,
fun.
Bob. Thank you as always. Appreciate it, my friend. I'll see you next week.
All right. And man, always fun. So with that, this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and the sports radio sports agent aficionado himself, Mr. Mike Abadir, and we are gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.